Michael Bisping. Final preparations backstage for the former heavyweight champion, the Pitbull, ANDREI ARLOVSKI, hoping to continue his climb back up to the top of the UFC heavyweight division. His opponent tonight is UFC newcomer FABRICIO Werdum from Team Crow Cop. He's Mirko Crow Cop's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu teacher, and Werdum has made a name for himself inside the Pride organization. Tonight, he looks for success in his UFC debut. And that fight is next, right here in beautiful Manchester, England, where the tradition is rich, and there seems to be a pub on every corner. And many of the pubs tonight are jam-packed with UFC fans. Tonight, Manchester, England. Next month, it's right back to Las Vegas.
UFC World Light Heavyweight Champion Chuck the Iceman Liddell has been on a mission to avenge the only 3 losses of his career. First, it was Randy Couture. Then it was Jeremy Horn.
He has stunned Jeremy Horn. Knocked out for the first time in over 100 fights. Chuck the Iceman Liddell has defeated Jeremy Horn.
And now in his final battle for redemption, the Iceman will go to war with a one-man left standing, Quentin Rampage Jackson.
That's the last fight I lost, and I get my chance to avenge it.
Only thing I can say about that is you can't always get what you want.
And I'll knock him out in the first round.
I'm gonna whoop Chuck's ass.
The Ultimate Fighting Championship presents UFC 71, Liddell versus Jackson, from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, on Bravo.
The light heavyweight champion, Chuck the Iceman Liddell, has lost only 3 times in his mixed martial arts career. He got his revenge against Jeremy Horn and Randy Couture. Now he looks to avenge his loss to Quentin Rampage Jackson. The Iceman Chuck Liddell putting his belt on the line at UFC 71 at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Later tonight, the man who many consider to be the most devastating striker in the entire mixed martial arts world, Mirko Crow Cop, takes center stage in a heavyweight battle with world-class grappler Gabriel Gonzaga. And waiting patiently in the wings on this heavyweight ladder, which is so jam-packed and led by Randy Couture, is the former heavyweight champion, the Pitbull, ANDREI ARLOVSKI, long expected to rule the heavyweight division. Then came Tim Sylvia, not once, but twice. But the Belarusian has regrouped and plans to make FABRICIO Werdum his next victim on his way back to becoming, once again, UFC heavyweight champion. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, FABRICIO Werdum has competed all over the world. In 2002, Werdum looked for a new challenge and found it in mixed martial arts, where he scored victories over UFC veterans Gabriel Gonzaga and Christophe Badou before taking himself to Japan and establishing himself as a top heavyweight contender. Along the way, Werdum struck up a friendship with a pretty good heavyweight in his own right, Mirko Crow Cop, and the two became training partners. Tonight, they'll be reunited on the same card in bouts with serious title implications.
When I step into the octagon, I'm going to demonstrate to all the UFC fans and all the MMA fans around the world that I have what it takes to be the best in the world.
A former UFC champion, now on the comeback trail, ANDREI ARLOVSKI has learned from the mistakes of the past and is determined not to repeat them, as he attempts to become only the 3rd man in UFC history to regain the heavyweight title. Fresh off a first-round knockout of skilled grappler Marcio Cruz at UFC 66 last December, the Pitbull will be facing another tough challenge in Brazil's FABRICIO Werdum tonight. And his tireless efforts in the gym back home in Chicago point to a focused and determined fighter with just one goal in mind. That is to once again become the fighter who struck fear in the hearts of an entire division with his striking, his ground game, and the mere mention of his name.
For me, it's another tough opponent, another fight for my road to be a champion.
Coming up next, FABRICIO Werdum takes on ANDREI the Pitbull ARLOVSKI. But this is a man who is no stranger to the fans worldwide of mixed martial arts. He made his name in pride. He works jiu-jitsu with Mirko Cro Cop. And interestingly enough, if you're Fabricio Werdum and you're walking into a striker like ANDREI ARLOVSKI, what better training could you have than to work out daily with Mirko Cro Cop?
Yeah, no better. And you know what? If this fight had taken place 2 or 3 years ago, I would say Fabricio Werdum's, possibly in a bit of trouble. But he has improved his striking greatly, training with Mirko Cro Cop. And as we said before, he is a veteran of mixed martial arts competition overseas. He has fought and beaten such tough fighters as Tom Erickson, Roman Zensov, Alistar Overeem, Alexander Emelianenko. He's top of the food chain Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. World champion, Abu Dhabi champion. He's an excellent, excellent fighter. Just his first time in the UFC is a very difficult task, taking on the former champion in ANDREI ARLOVSKI.
Well, he spent his entire career fighting overseas. He has a powerful right cross and a big left hook. Neither man really tonight is an elite wrestler, but neither man is afraid to strike. And for Fabricio Werdum, even though he's Brazilian, he says he's representing Spain in this Nations Collide version of the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Well, I would give a striking advantage for sure to Arlovsky, but a big grappling advantage to Werdum. Again, he is a 3-time World Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion.
Werdum will fight and then watch. He will fight Arlovsky and then watch his training partner, Mirko Cro Cop.
Hopefully.
Yeah, good point, yeah.
Sometimes when you fight ANDREI ARLOVSKI, you don't remember what happened.
Excellent point. Thank you, bud. Here he is, set to make his UFC debut, Fabricio Werdum. You want to talk about a reaction at the weigh-ins? Of course, Bisping was the largest. Cro Cop got a standing ovation, but someone who has received a lot of love and a lot of love is the Belarusian, the Pitbull ANDREI ARLOVSKI.
ANDREI ARLOVSKI is loved everywhere, and it's for a reason. He's excited.
The main floor of the MEN Arena, former UFC heavyweight champion, ANDREI the Pitbull ARLOVSKI.
When ANDREI ARLOVSKI is at his best, he's one of the most frightening fighters in all of MMA. The problem is, he's hot and cold. We've seen him at his best when he fought Ian Freeman, destroyed Ian Freeman, destroyed Vladimir Matyushenko, destroyed Wesley Cabbage Correa. He looked phenomenal in those fights. Destroyed Paul Plantello, destroyed Justin Eilers. Those 2 subsequent fights with Tim Sylvia, one where Tim Sylvia knocked him out, the other one where Tim Sylvia beat him by decision. It didn't look so good. Didn't look the same. Looks tentative. Didn't look like the same fighter. When he's on, he's scary. But the problem is, he's hot and cold. What ANDREI ARLOVSKI are we going to see tonight? Are we going to see the destroyer that everyone was terrified of before that second fight with Tim Sylvia? Or are we going to see the guy who fought in the second fight with Tim Sylvia in the third fight, where he was tentative, was knocked out in that fight, and then lost the decision?
We will soon find out. 6 of his last 7 wins have ended with strikes. The Sylvia submission victory was set up by a big right hand.
And he's still only 28 years old. That's another thing to think about ANDREI.
Our tale of the tape for this heavyweight matchup tonight in Manchester. The Belarusian, ANDREI ARLOVSKI, 28 years old. The Brazilian, Fabricio Werdum, also wearing Spain in his heart tonight, is 29 years old. Arlovsky weighed in about 5 pounds heavier. Not much of a difference in the reach. And at stone, 17.0 stone for Arlovsky, 16.6 for Fabricio Werdum. For our official introductions, once again, the veteran voice of the Octagon, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter holding a professional record of 9 wins with 2 losses and 1 draw. Standing 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 233 pounds, 16.6 stone. Fighting out of Porto Alegre, Brazil, FABRICIO And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a kickboxer and sambo fighter. He holds a professional record of 12 wins with 5 losses. Standing 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 238 pounds, 17 stone. Fighting out of Chicago, Illinois, by way of Minsk, Belarus. Ladies and gentlemen, the former UFC heavyweight champion of the world, ANDREI "The Pitbull" Arlovski. And when the action begins, our referee in charge is Werdum.
All right, gentlemen, protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions at all times. We're gonna have a nice, clean fight. Touch gloves, come out ready to do this.
Arlovsky. Werdum. This is a true heavyweight matchup with championship ramifications, because Arlovsky could move himself right back into that second spot after the winner of Crow Cup and Gonzaga. Werdum.
Ready to fight? You ready? Let's do it.
UFC debut for FABRICIO Werdum. Full black trunks for Arlovsky, black and red trunks for the Brazilian Werdum. And as you talked about perfectly, when the Pitbull is on, he is extremely dangerous. Inside leg kick. Arlovsky's a specimen.
He looks very focused here. He's staring at Werdum's chest. You focus on the chest, but you look at everything all at once.
Inside leg kick answer, not with as much force as the one we saw a moment ago.
Inside leg kick, right hand. Werdum landed a couple shots in there as well. He's got a
Arlovsky trying
clinch.
to come over the top, Joe.
Werdum pushing him up against the cage. Werdum has an excellent guard. We can definitely see if he can't take Arlovsky down, we may very well see him pull guard.
Black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, 3-time world Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion, 3-time Pan American Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion is FABRICIO Werdum.
Good elbow and right hand from Werdum off the cage, and he pulls away.
Werdum would not consider this an upset at all, because he has made his name around the world. 9-2-1 is extremely impressive.
Nice right leg kick by Werdum.
Coming forward is Arlovsky. Moving out of the way, Werdum. Missed with that one. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Everything is a 3 5-minute round fight tonight. No titles are up for grabs. But positioning yourself for a future title fight is certainly in the cards tonight here in Manchester, England.
You can really see the difference in Werdum's striking since he's been training with Crow Cup. I mean, he looks so much more comfortable on his feet than I've seen him in some of his pride fights. Ducked that right hand, got the clinch, ate it up.
Arlovsky.
He got hurt there.
Caught him with the uppercut. Now he'll work the legs. Look for a chance to come down and fire.
Arlovsky, come to me.
And Arlovsky says, why would I?
You're going to see Herb Dean stand him up here.
And he does. The Pitbull, the reaction to the Pitbull, ANDREI ARLOVSKI, dynamic throughout the week here in Manchester. Most of the UFC fighters have, to some degree, become rock stars, if you will, but Arlovsky, being the Belarusian, being the European, beloved over here, but it's on 1, 2, 3. 4 straight punches. Werdum connected on 4 as he pushes Arlovski up against the fence.
That was a straight blast.
Wow. What a buzz in this corner, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, these people love this sport. The UK fans are very excited to have the UFC here.
Still on the docket this year, a couple of trips to Ireland, one to Northern Ireland, one to Southern Ireland, and a return to beautiful London, England.
Arlovski looked up at the clock.
Missed with the uppercut. Now Arlovski pushes forward. Back and forth they go. Just about 1 minute remains in the first round.
Werdum is starting to limp a little bit on that left leg. He's taking a bunch of inside leg kicks and a few outside ones as well. Right hand by Arlovski.
Werdum was pressing forward, Arlovski connected. Oh, a great kick again.
Arlovski slowly picking him apart.
He's welting the inside of the left leg of FABRICIO Werdum.
And his confidence is soaring.
And with that, Werdum changed stances for a moment, Joe. To try to protect that left leg, now he works it back to the front. Arlovski missed.
Werdum's got to figure out a way to get this fight to the ground. Because Arlovski is slowly starting to time him and pick him apart.
Final seconds ticking away. Good first round for the former heavyweight champion, Andrei the Pitbull Arlovski.
Here is the uppercut that Andrei Arlovski landed right on the jaw for FABRICIO Werdum. Werdum goes down. Managed to survive, but he took some damage in that fight.
You're avoiding the
leg
takedown.
kicks and with the punches.
Don't follow him, okay? And when you see that you hurt him, come at him, okay? Come at him. Hurt this guy, all right? You can do this. Again. Here, grab. Let's go.
The former UFC champion Arlovski against Werdum tonight. The present-day UFC champion Randy the Natural Couture is in attendance here tonight at the MEN Arena. He will join us to help call the fight of Mirko Cro Cop and Gabriel Gonzaga, the winner in which he will face for the UFC heavyweight title. So Randy the Natural Couture will join us for our main event of the evening.
Arlovski looks very confident coming out for this second round, and Werdum looks a little nervous.
Justifiably so?
Justifiably so indeed. Arlovski's on tonight, and you can see it in his eyes. Like, he knows. I mean, he had those 2 fights. They were disappointing fights with Tim Sylvia. One in which he lost his title. The second one after that in which he failed to win a decision. And he didn't look so good in that fight.
Well, when he lost his title, Joe, he had actually rocked Sylvia in a similar way to the way he had rocked him in the first matchup. But he came in a little bit with a reckless abandon and got himself caught.
Yeah, and Tim Sylvia's a big puncher.
Not even close to a takedown. And not even close will Andrei Arlovski come to thinking about going down on the ground.
Werdum's got to do something, though. Oh, Werdum just stood up and gave him a mean face.
That doesn't score points, does it?
No, but I mean, maybe it's his attitude. Maybe he's just saying, I'm tired of this dude beating my ass.
Let's see if he can turn it around.
He's got to do something, but, you know, Andrei Arlovski is one of the most athletic guys to ever step into the octagon, and as a heavyweight, his motion, oh, there he caught the leg, pushed him right off. As a heavyweight, his motion is so good and so quick. Oh, Werdum trying a capoeira kick.
Arlovski recognized it.
It's hard to train against a guy like Arlovski because there's so few training partners that can offer you that kind of opposition in the gym. I mean, the way he moves, unless you can spar with, you know, welterweights and get them to you know, a big guy will pretend he's a heavyweight. Just to have a guy so big who hits so hard and moves so quickly.
Body kick. Mike over Joe Rogan, UFC 70. Nations collide, being shown worldwide. Here from the sold-out MEN Arena in Manchester, England. First time since '02, the Octagon gates opened in the UK.
Swinging the right hand by Werdum, but ineffective.
Pace is slowed a bit here in round 2.
Werdum is trying to figure out some way to get this fight to the ground. He knows that the striking is ultimately not a good idea for him, but there's nothing he can do about it right now.
What way, in your mind, is that way, Joe?
Shoot and pull guard. Shoot and, during the sprawl, pull guard. That's what I think is his best option. But that's if he hasn't taken so many leg kicks on that left leg that he can spring. I mean, we don't know how much damage he's taken on that leg. We know he's eaten a bunch of kicks, and he's the only one that can tell you how much that's actually taken out of the functionality of his leg.
Back-to-back jabs by Arlovsky. 2 minutes remains in the second.
The good news for him is, for whatever reason, ANDREI ARLOVSKI has slowed down on the leg kicks and is concentrating primarily on punches.
Changes stances back and forth again.
If I was in Andrei's corner, I'd be screaming out to kick the legs.
Coming forward this time, FABRICIO Werdum. Retreating perfectly was ANDREI ARLOVSKI.
When FABRICIO just has to concentrate on the hands, it's not nearly as big a problem. But when Andrei's throwing those vicious leg kicks as well, there he goes one.
That stalking, no one can defeat me attitude is back in the eyes and back in the mannerisms of ANDREI ARLOVSKI. Just waiting for his opportunity for a big punch like against Buentello or Eilers or Sylvia in the first matchup. Under a minute remains here in the second. Good inside leg kick, just as you talked about.
Yeah, I mean, if he just continues to do that, FABRICIO is going to be helpless. We can see the welts here standing. I mean, see those on his legs?
Absolutely. Oh, wow. The one on the back of his right leg is nasty.
Yeah, both of those legs are taking a pounding, but it's not enough.
Ten seconds remains in the second.
This is a round where FABRICIO has done virtually nothing to stop ANDREI ARLOVSKI's game plan. Landed a shot there, and another right hand.
Headed to the third and final round. Look at this, hey?
A little bit of a misunderstanding.
Heavyweight champion, the natural Randy Couture, in attendance here tonight, and listen to the ovation. He will fight either Mirko Krokop or Gabriel Gonzaga next to try to defend his title. The natural, who at 43 years old, won at UFC 68, defeating Tim Sylvia, the three-time heavyweight, two-time light heavyweight champion, UFC Hall of Famer. And he will join us in the broadcast booth for our main event of the evening.
That is an unusual human being right there.
That man is your hero.
That's a real champion.
He's going to come right at you this round. Let's do this.
Arlovsky's corner spurring him on to try to finish it. He should be well ahead in the judges' eyes.
Last round. Let's have action. I'll take a point from the first one who's retreating. Let's work.
Nicely done, Herb Dean. All right, here we go. Third and final round. Arlovsky clearly ahead on the scorecard.
That's interesting. Taking a point away from the first one who retreats. I've never heard anybody say that before.
No, and you know what? That has to, at least you would think, has to be pointed more towards Arlovsky, kind of saying, don't think you're going to cruise your way to victory, because there's no ability or no sense for Fabricio Werdum to retreat, Joe, because if he does, he'll just lose the fight.
Well, I mean, he's losing the fight already. So
right, but that's my point.
Yeah.
You know, if he retreats, he's just going to solidify things.
Yeah, if he I mean, does Fabricio absolutely know he's losing? Sometimes when you're in a fight, things get a little cloudy. I mean, I'm sure he's got to be thinking he's behind. But,
yeah.
I mean, he's just got to figure out some way to take this fight to the ground. Or at least we got to see some sort of an attempt, because he's not going to win backing up and throwing punches and running away from Arlovski, which is what he's doing. And like you said, Herb Dean taking a point away from Werdum is kind of pointless. But Arlovski's not doing anything either.
And that may have been the point that subtly Herb Dean was trying to make.
Arlovski misses with a kick.
Three and a half remains in the fight. Who could be next in line after the next in line is basically what we're finding out here. And don't forget Tim Sylvia, like he's back in the mix as well.
This tentative style being displayed by Arlovski is in stark contrast to the attacking style of Mirko Cro Cop. And that's one of the reasons why Cro Cop is so dangerous. Because not only does he have these excellent striking skills that Arlovski has, even better, but he's very, very aggressive. I mean, Arlovski is basically standing in front of a lesser kickboxer right now and doing almost nothing.
But how much in a fighter's mind, yeah, you always want the highlight reel finish, how much in a fighter's mind do they calculate the chances you take when you're ahead on the scorecards and you keep pushing forward?
There, Werdum got a hold of a leg, but it's too late, it's too slippery. You know, I'm sure they calculate it, but I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta be exciting.
Yes.
People want to see, they don't want to see a guy squeak by and barely win a decision. And let me tell you something, the UFC does not want to see that kind of, they're not gonna want or be excited about you coming back if you put on a show like this.
UFC matchmaker Joe Silva has said to me many times, I would rather see you fight and lose than not fight and win. And Dana White, the UFC brass, totally agree. Put on a show, win or lose, put on a show for the fans.
Werdum is trying in these exchanges, he doesn't have the skill set. And both these guys are so slippery now, it's going to be really difficult for him to get Arlovski down to the ground. Arlovski has trained extensively with Randy Couture. His takedown defense is excellent.
Got a Sambo background. And he said, yeah, I put in extra work on my ground game for this, but he hasn't had to display it.
In that exchange, Werdum caught Arlovski with an open hand slap to the head on the left side. But I mean, a minute and 20 seconds left. I mean, what is he thinking? Arlovski's probably thinking Werdum's got to do something.
And I'll wait for him to come and I'll counter, right?
Yes.
Why initiate and put myself in a potential bad spot?
I mean, right there, he misses with the kick. There he goes.
Arlovski, back-to-back losses to Sylvia, a win since that point to Marcio Cruz, and less than a minute away from a victory here tonight against UFC newcomer, Pride standout, Fabricio Werdum.
The amount of feints versus the amount of strikes, so there he goes.
Come on, gentlemen, let's work. Let's go.
30 seconds to go in this fight, and so far an uneventful second and an uneventful third round.
Great first round for Arlovski. Eddie Bravo, if we go another 20 seconds, will help us score the fight. Werdum charging at Arlovski. He throws him aside and in all likelihood solidifies his victory. Werdum has 12 seconds to change it. He's got to go now. That's going to be it. It is all over. The fight goes the distance. He sure looked like the old champion in round number one, did Andrei Arlovski. Was that enough, Eddie Bravo, to solidify his win?
Well, the fight started off great. Arlovski knocked down Werdum with that great uppercut. But other than that straight blast that Werdum had in the first round, not much happened in the second and third round. Arlovski a little bit disappointing. You know, he looked like Arlovski in the Tim Sylvia third fight. 30-27, Andrei Arlovski.
So the Pitbull should very well move to 9-4 in the UFC, earn his 13th win as a mixed martial artist. On Eddie's scorecard, he has it as a clear, unanimous decision. Buffer, Bruce Buffer, gathering the scorecards. Main event coming up next. Mirko Cro Cop, Gabriel Gonzaga. Cro Cop, a teammate of Fabricio Werdum. Randy the Natural Couture will join us in the broadcast booth, the Hall of Famer. The Belarusian, former police officer, son of a police officer in Minsk, Belarus, Andrei Arlovski. Representing Spain and Brazil tonight, Fabricio Werdum. Scorecards have been gathered. Here is the official decision. Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges scored this contest for a unanimous decision, declaring the winner, Andrei the Pitbull Arlovski.
No surprise there, Arlovski wins again. He is in the octagon with Joe.
All right, I'm here with the winner, the former champion, Andrei Arlovski. Andrei, you had a great first round. You came out devastating fashion, hurt him, knocked him down. But you hear the boos. The 2 rounds after that were kind of slow. Give us your thoughts on the fight.
No, first of all, great crowd here. I know people upset a little bit. I'm sorry, next time it will be better for sure. Fabricio, very great fighter. I'm sorry, guys. I told before, you know, for me, more important victory than knockout. But of course, I prefer knockout. But anyway, thank you all my trainers, Dino, Michael, team, John, Sean, my sponsors, all my sponsors. Thank you. Thank you, my family, of course. Thank you, my girlfriend, Patricia, baby, I love you. Great car out here. Thank you one more time. I'm sorry that I fight 15 minutes. So,
Andrei, you had him hurt badly in the first round. Why didn't you pursue him the same way in the second and third?
You know what? It was kind of exam for myself. He's a very good jiu-jitsu player. Trust me, I spent a lot of time in jiu-jitsu, but I think today I not was ready for a jiu-jitsu match. So I follow instruction my boxing coach, keep the distance, jab, distance. So I'm sorry, guys. I know you're a little bit upset, but in the future, I promise.
Well, congratulations on your victory. We look forward to seeing you again. Andrei Arlovski, ladies and gentlemen.
Pure class, the former champion, would love to have entertained a little bit more, but he got what he dearly needed. That wasn't